A sunny day illuminated Peppa Pig's house, but something was wrong. Peppa and George were playing in their room when they heard a strange creak outside the window. Mummy Pig was cooking lunch in the kitchen, but the knife in her hands was trembling. Daddy Pig was reading the newspaper, but the letters blurred before his tired eyes. Grandpa Pig was working in the garden, but the plants looked withered. Susie Sheep came to visit, but her eyes were empty and cold. A dark shadow appeared in the forest behind the house. Shadow Rabbit watched the family through the windows, his red eyes glowing in the darkness. Peppa noticed a strange figure by the window. She called for Mummy, but when they looked, no one was there. George found a black feather in the garden. When he picked it up, everything around became cold and quiet. In the evening, the family gathered for dinner. The lights in the house began to flicker, and shadows on the walls moved by themselves. Shadow Rabbit entered the house through the basement. His steps were silent, but the air became icy cold. Peppa woke up at night from a strange noise. In the hallway stood a dark figure with burning red eyes. Mummy and Daddy Pig searched for the children throughout the house, but the children had vanished, leaving only black footprints on the floor. Grandpa Pig went out to search for his grandchildren. In the forest, he heard children crying, but the sound came from underground. Susie Sheep also disappeared without a trace. Her pink dress was found on a tree branch, torn to shreds. Shadow Rabbit gathered all the children in his underground lair. Their eyes became as empty as his own. In the morning, the parents found only an empty house. The children returned, but they no longer laughed or played, only stared silently with red eyes. A sunny day illuminated Peppa Pig's house, filling it with familiar laughter. But today, something was off. A subtle, almost imperceptible tension hung in the air. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Susie Sheep stood on the doorstep, but her gaze was unusually blank, her movements stiff. She didn't smile, as always, nor jump with joy. Peppa and George, usually so cheerful, froze. Their eyes widened in bewilderment. Mummy Pig slowly approached the door, her face pale. Daddy Pig, usually so brave, hid behind the sofa. He trembled, his snout twitching with fear. Susie entered the house without a word. Her steps were heavy, each sound echoing. She slowly turned her head, her eyes fixed on Peppa. Peppa felt a chill. Susie extended her hand, her fingers pale and cold. She held something small and black. It was a doll resembling Peppa, but the doll had empty eye sockets and a crooked smile. George cried, tears streaming down his cheeks. Mummy Pig hugged the children tightly. Susie slowly lifted the doll. She began to make strange, whispering sounds. It wasn't Susie's voice. Daddy Pig darted from behind the sofa, grabbed his children and wife. They ran out of the house without looking back. Susie remained standing. She watched them go, her empty eyes following their every move. The doll in her hand swayed slowly. The sun disappeared behind the clouds. Peppa Pig's house, usually so cozy, now seemed ominous. Inside, a quiet, eerie laugh echoed. Peppa's family ran without a glance.